on the salt. Let's
Salt in the eye.
didn't see it there, laddie. Let's just put this away. Today, we're gonna be talking about hurricanes.
Here are the lab results.
Thank you, Grace. Thank you. Well, put these away. Anyways, we're going to be talking about hurricanes and how they form. So, hurricanes form in mostly warm waters of about 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Then winds have to be coming westward from Africa. With the mixture of the wind and the warm water, it creates water vapor, and then the water vapor goes up to the clouds and releases its heat. Now, the heat can make several clouds, which will cause a storm. The water vapor and the heat cause the heat to be pushed around and start moving around and twirling. So, as it's twirling, wind speeds gradually increase, thus causing a hurricane. And also, with the wind speed increasing, the water level starts to rise with the twirling of the wind. So anyways, that's how hurricanes are formed. Now, to show you something.
Top of the morning to you, laddies! Today, we're going to learn how to make a model of the Hurricane Katrina. As you can see right here, this represents Earth. Rubber tissue represents the layers. So you're probably wondering what the tissue represents. Well, it represents the southern region of North America, also including the Caribbeans. So with the winds coming from westward from Africa, it came over here. It raised the sea levels. It brought wind and destruction. Now this is Hurricane Katrina. Hurricane Katrina left America not that well, but not our problem. The tropical depression that became Hurricane Katrina formed over the Bahamas on August 23, 2005, and meteorologists were soon able to warn people in the Gulf Coast states that a major storm was on its way. By August 28, evacuations were underway across the region. That day, the National Weather Service predicted that after the storm hit, most of the Gulf Coast area will be inhabitable for weeks, perhaps longer. New Orleans was at particular risk. Though about half the city actually lies above sea level, its average elevation is about 6 feet below sea level, and it's completely surrounded by water. Over the course of the 20th century, the Army Corps of Engineers had built a system of levees and seawalls to keep the city from flooding. The levees along the Mississippi River were strong and sturdy, but the ones built to hold back
Lake Pontchartrain, Lake Borgney, and the waterlogged swamps and marshes
to the cities east and west were much less reliable. Even before the storm, officials worried that those levees Jerry built atop sandy, porous, erodible soil might not withstand a massive storm surge. Neighborhoods that sat below sea level, many of which housed the city's poorest and most vulnerable people, were at a great risk of flooding. The day before Katrina hit, New Orleans Mayor Ray Nagin issued the city's first ever mandatory evacuation order. He also declared that the Superdome, a stadium located on relatively high ground near downtown, would serve as a shelter of last resort for people who could not leave the city. Some 112,000 of New Orleans' nearly 500,000 people did not have access to a car. By nightfall, almost 80% of the city's population had evacuated. Some 10,000 had sought shelter in the Superdome, while tens of thousands of others chose to wait out the storm at home. Did you know? During the past century, hurricanes have flooded New Orleans 6 times in 1915, 1940, 1947, 1965, 1969, and 2005.
Sir? I'm recording.
Oh, I just dropped a Hiroshima. Sorry, that's another project.
Here's a picture of the main area of where Hurricane Katrina took place, near the Gulf of Mexico.
August 24th, 2005, Hurricane Katrina was a tropical storm with 39 miles per hour. This is when it officially began. On August 25th, Hurricane Katrina becomes a Category 1 hurricane. On August 26th, Hurricane Katrina enters the Gulf of Mexico and becomes Category 2. On August 27th, Hurricane Katrina catches wind speeds of 115 miles per hour, making it a Category 3. It passed by New Orleans, Louisiana, and people had to stay in the Louisiana Superdome for shelter. On August 28th, Hurricane Katrina grew 175-mile-per-hour winds, making it a Category 4. Then a few hours later, it became a Category 5. Here are some pictures of the Superdome inside and what happened after Hurricane Katrina. As you see, it's damaged and there was flooding all around it. In the morning of August 29th, winds slowed down and the hurricane became a Category 4 again. Then during midday, it started to go east off of New Orleans, and during the night, it went to Tennessee and Kentucky and was reduced to a tropical storm. August 30th, the damage is severe and New Orleans is nearly destroyed. People all around the city seek to be rescued or to have some kind of help. It's now August 31st, when the water stopped rising and Hurricane Katrina had been downgraded to a tropical depression. It has nearly ended completely now. It's September 1st, and Hurricane Katrina has been downgraded to a tropical depression and has completely passed New Orleans, Louisiana. Here are rescue groups that help out animals or humans after the disaster of the hurricane. Such people who work in these rescue groups are Coast Guards. As you can see, they're helping to pick up people in their helicopter to transport them to safe areas. As you saw, Hurricane Katrina made over 204,000 homes in New Orleans damaged or destroyed, and about 800,000 citizens displaced. The levee system also caused flooding and had damaged over 80% of all structures in New Orleans. Around about 1,833 people died as well.
Oh, I just caused it to Hoku.
Oh, I think that was another project.
After the destruction of Hurricane Katrina, New Orleans started to reconstruct with the help of small funds by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and also the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Reconstruction officially started Monday, September 5th, 2005, when power began to be restored to central buildings in New Orleans. Then levees and pump repairs started to take place, and soon after, the Environmental Protection Agency declared that all waters and air of New Orleans was safe and not contaminated. Relief agencies were key roles in reconstruction, such as the American Red Cross, who would give packaged food and bottled water to those who needed it. Another relief agency was the Build Now program, which will bring New Orleans families back into their homes by building new ones on the old sites. Build Now especially helped in bringing homeless people into new homes, and it brought down the homelessness population by 64%. New Orleans is reconstructed and Hurricane Katrina has completely ended.
The Army Corps of Engineers have built the levee system by making the barriers higher and supporting them with steel beams that extend as far as 65 feet below sea level. In 2006, Congress passed the Katrina Emergency Management Reform Act, which helped revise city evacuation plans. The act also increased funding for urban search and rescue team. The city of New Orleans improved resident access to evacuation and alert information. Hurricane Katrina led to the largest Red Cross relief response.
Sir,
Oh, it
didn't notice you were watching me.
Okay, well, sir, how has Hurricane Katrina affected you and or your family?
Well, Hurricane Katrina had many social risks. Left many people homeless, many people with mental and physical diseases. And worst of all, family and members, they were separated. Oh, it was a bad time for everyone. Water, winds, unemployment. Terrible. It affected hearts of many.
Well, thank you, sir.
Noah Benton Markham was born 16 months after Hurricane Katrina from a frozen embryo that was in one of 4 80-pound tanks that were originally stored at an eastern New Orleans fertility clinic. The rescue of the embryos from the storm's floodwaters provided a bit of hope at a time when there was very little of it. The day before Katrina blasted the region, the tanks were transferred to the 3rd floor of the Lakeland Hospital. Liquid nitrogen was pumped into the tanks to keep the embryos safely chilled at 150 degrees below zero. By the time Katrina finished her dirty work, the clinic and hospital were surrounded with about 7 feet of water, and there was concern as to how long the embryos would remain safe. On September 11th, the tanks were loaded onto flat-bottom boats and transported to dry land. They were then transferred to the Fertility Institute's branch at Lakeside Hospital. Noah's mother, Rebecca Crosby, then called the clinic and learned of the miraculous rescue story. Her son is one of the youngest Katrina survivors.
Ma'am.
Oh, hi.
Hi. What are your thoughts on Hurricane Katrina?
Well, me being from Nashville, Tennessee, the tropical storm did destroy some of my home, which cost millions of dollars to repair. It was horrible.
Thank you. Did Chernobyl?
That's another project.
Hi there.
Sir, what is your opinion on Hurricane Katrina?
Oh, I've been asked this question several times. So, as a former Florida Keys resident, Hurricane Katrina didn't exactly damage or do much destruction to the area. I didn't get much of it. As you see, I got a tropical storm. It didn't affect me, and it happened mostly in Louisiana where most of the destruction took place. But as I saw, it did cause destruction to some of the houses in my area. So there was some flooding. As you see, it became kind of a tropical storm around that. So yeah, that's pretty much my experience with Hurricane Katrina.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. So that pretty much wraps up Hurricane Katrina in a nutshell. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you in the next documentary very, very soon.
Where are the Lord of the Rings?
Who are you?
I'm the Great Smogger 1922. Oh, boom, roast.
Wow. Wow. All credit goes to Mikell, Sean, and Grace. Again, thanks for watching. Bye.